Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to Our Issues Birmingham. I have Anthony Brooklere with me today, City Councilman, City of Adamsville, and owner of 3 Brooklere pharmacies located in Alabaster, Somerton, and of course, Adamsville, where Pam is mayor.
Correct.
Yes, Pam and I go way back. That whole family there, we go way back.
Good
I have
folks.
some Adamsville roots.
Connections.
Always feel the need to go out to Crazy Bill fireworks. I trust it's still viable.
It is.
I don't have kids anymore, so I don't really take advantage of our relationship to gather fireworks like I used to.
And they're good folks.
Yeah. So I invited Anthony on because we have recently heard about price gouging, particularly as it relates to the EpiPen. Is that what that's called?
Correct.
And there was a cancer medication where the pharmaceutical companies were charging outrageous amounts of money for product. And I wanted to address that. I know it's not just the pharmacy companies, because we have some government blessing of what the pharmaceutical companies are doing.
Correct.
Tell us what's the deal with that. How does that happen? And this person goes before a Senate committee and says she makes $18 million a year salary and it's all okay.
Right. Well, the thing about EpiPen is that they picked on it, but there are dozens and dozens of examples just exactly like that where pharmaceuticals are overpriced.
For example?
Well, there's Mycolog, for example. It's an ointment that pediatricians used to prescribe for severe diaper rash. And it went from, our wholesale cost was $3.60, now it's $590.
Wow.
And there are ophthalmic antibiotic eye drops that are the same way. Many examples can be given.
I think Primarin's probably on that list as well.
Exactly.
And which whoever makes those rules thinks like Primarin's not a required medication for females as they age, and that's crazy.
But it is.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And well, the irony of it all is that they brought them before a congressional committee, which was
being
good.
The pharmaceutical committee.
No, Congress.
Okay.
Congress brought Mylan before the committee, and rightfully so. However, the irony of all that is these companies are doing it with the blessing of the United States government. Federal Trade Commission, number 1, they were formed and founded to protect the public against monopolies of product and so forth that raises the retail price, but they've done nothing about it. Years ago, when we began our co-op, we had about 20 generic companies that we could get prices from. But now
when you say co-op, you're talking about pharmacies joining together to get greater buying power.
Exactly. The American Pharmacy Cooperative Incorporated, APCI. We started that in Birmingham with about 50 drugstores. Now we have 1,688 stores in 29 states. We're about the 5th largest buyer of pharmaceuticals in the United States.
So that should give you some buying power.
Yes.
But my guess is
so.
It's not.
Well,
to some degree.
Exactly. Well, the pharmaceutical companies, or particularly the generic houses, instead of keeping a full line, now they buy up all the product of one line and let the pipeline dry up, and then they 100-fold the price.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. And that's what Federal Trade Commission is all about. And they should have stopped it. They have laws, Congress has passed laws that are in place to prevent that, but they look the other way.
And who are they buying it from? When you say they buy it all up, aren't they making it? Aren't the pharmaceutical companies making it?
Well, sometimes the active ingredients come from overseas, Eastern Europe or wherever, and they buy it all up. And you've read or heard a couple of years ago about a shortage of medication. It never was short. Now, my colleagues in the medical field will say, well, I wasn't able to get it. It wasn't because it was all being warehoused. And when the pipeline emptied, then they came out with it 100-fold in the price. Nobody else had it because they
And
corner
this
the
is
market.
just not EpiPen. This is just
No,
not that
no.
cancer medication that the young man was
Exactly.
hoisted up on a petard over.
There are many of them.
In addition to drying up the scene with the supply, I have been told, and I believe, they also hold back drugs coming off of patent. Is that correct? So that, in effect, delay the production of generics, which decreases the price to the consumer.
And in all of this,
And that's really hitting the state of Alabama in the head, too, when you talk about Medicaid reimbursement.
exactly. And enter FDA. You see, FDA is involved in this because, or for one example, the Mycolol cream I was speaking of earlier, we can make it in our compounding lab for less than $10. And yet the manufacturers charge $590. But the FDA does not allow a pharmacy to compound anything that competes with a manufactured drug.
That's still patented, or even the generic?
The generic. No, the patent's off for the brand name.
It's open.
When I say Mycolog, I mean the generic Mycolog is $590 my cost. Now, as I said, I can make it for less than $20, but we're not allowed. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Who controls FDA?
That's what we're going to answer when we come back from our break.
Okay.
All right, don't leave me.
All right.
You're a wealth of information. This is Our Issues Birmingham. I have Anthony Brooklere with me today. I'm Tommy Spina. We'll be right back.